Well, first of all, why do some traditions continue for centuries while others disappear within a generation?
Well, I think that in this part of the history, I think some traditions disappear because the people don't have interest or so much interest about that. For example, in my case, I don't really like some traditions because in most cases, like I don't perceive that to belong for a country or a city or in one place, a special place. And in the other, I think it's from the country because some countries, like for example Mexico, is more like imposed or most important the traditions like the 15th of September or something like that. But in this case, I think the traditions can be disappeared because don't have people practice or don't have much interest about that.
Okay, so how can custom shapes a person identity and some sense of belonging?
Well, I think the customs change a lot the shape of all people because everyone has or have all some customs and traditions. All have some customs that shape all the things, beliefs, like the religion, or some customs that has in family, or also with friends, or also with a lot of people, and change the mind and some beliefs about the family or traditions. Most like the traditions, I think, is more for a global situation or more specific in a country, but the customs are more specific in one person and beliefs about that.
Okay, so at what point does following a tradition become more harmful than beneficial?
Well, I think it's a good question because in some parts of the world, such as Africa or some continents that have problems with that traditions, for example, the mutilation and some traditions that are very heavy to follow because it's too painful the body about a person. And I think a tradition it can be more like relaxed or it can be more shaped about the new values around the world because around the world we have new customs, new traditions, new things that we need to change all traditions.
Okay, should traditions be preserved exactly as they are or adapted to fit modern values?
No, I think no. We need to change some traditions because that I say some traditions are very difficult to follow because are very harmful to know or have some values that in the families done good or change of mind. But yeah, I think we need to shape and also need to change some traditions because the war is different. All the dates, all the war are different between the epochs or some the history. And around the history, we need to change some things to know have more efficient or more have beneficial about that than the problems in a society.
Okay, so for last, how do customs influence the way different cultures perceive each other?
Well, I think can be changed a lot the traditions in some countries because for example in Spain we have some traditions that are not the same in Mexico. I can change the same of difference between the beliefs or mind. For example, in Mexico have the tradition or some specific things, but in Spain the others, and in other countries, for example Japan, Asia continent, have other traditions that are very different about one country. And I think it's a good way to see the traditions because nowadays the world is very globally and we have some same places, the same food, the same things in around the world. But I think the traditions makes the difference about around the world and have different culture, different change of mind, or a lot some things that can be better life. No, it's like more globally or more specific in one country.
Okay, thank you.